Hello, this is Mark Satterfield, and welcome to the Velvet Rope Playbook. Tonight's chapter, The Billionaire and the Goat. A while back, a friend sent me a photo that stopped me cold. It was a picture of a billionaire, a name you'd recognize, standing on his ranch, bottle feeding a baby goat. No entourage, no stylist, no designer boots or artfully distressed jeans. Just a man in a flannel shirt holding a small bottle while a goat nuzzled against him like it had known him forever. And it hit me. This is why most people will never sell to the wealthy, because they're not actually seeing the person. They're selling to the persona. They market to the myth, the private jet, champagne glass, PR filtered hologram of success, instead of to the individual behind it. Even billionaires bottle feed goats on the weekends. Look, we live in an age where wealth is staged like a magazine spread. Instagram and business media have turned luxury into performance art. Private jets, champagne flutes, seaside villas, all filtered, polished, and lit just right. That image is intoxicating and it traps people. When they try to sell to the wealthy, they imitate the fantasy. Their marketing screams luxury. They fill their websites with marble foyers and gold serif fonts. They post watches, jets, and words like exclusive, elite, and bespoke. But the irony is, the truly affluent are bored of all that. They don't need to be shown wealth, they live inside it. What they crave is something money can't easily buy: authenticity, calm. Someone who sees them not as a status symbol, but as a human being. That's why the most successful advisors, agents, and consultants don't pitch to the myth. They speak to the man. They understand that the ultra wealthy don't want to be impressed. They want to be understood. I once worked with a luxury real estate agent who couldn't quite break into the upper tier. She looked the part: designer wardrobe, gleaming car, elevator pitched, memorized to perfection. But every time she met an ultra affluent buyer, she felt invisible. Then one day, she was showing a sprawling equestrian property. Her client, an ex tech founder worth hundreds of millions, pulled up not in a Bentley, but in an old Ford pickup covered in dust, dog hair on the seats, Labrador in the passenger side. All her polished lines vanished, so she just said, "He's a beautiful dog. What's his name?" He smiled. For the next hour, they didn't talk about real estate. They talked about dogs, hiking, and the joy of being unreachable for a day. He bought the house. But more importantly, he started referring her to his friends because she was the only one who treated him like a person, not a portfolio. The higher up the wealth ladder someone climbs, the louder the world gets around them, and the fewer people they can actually talk to. Everyone wants something. Everyone's pitching, flattering, or asking for a quick favor. For the affluent, peace becomes the new status symbol. Privacy is luxury. That's what struck me about the goat photo. It wasn't about wealth, it was about escape. A man could buy anything, choosing instead to stand in silence, feeding a creature that had no idea of who he was. When you sell to the wealthy, never forget that. You're not talking to the image you see on CNBC. You're talking to the person who just wants peace, clarity, and a sense of control again. That's what the best professionals in the affluent market deliver. Not more noise, but relief. If you like to learn how to do that, how to see through the glamour and connect with the real human being behind the net worth, visit getwealthyclients.com. You'll find my full collection of books, programs, and trainings that show you how to attract and retain affluent clients by appealing to what they actually value: authenticity, calm, and trust. That's getwealthyclients.com. Before I release any new campaign for a client, I run it through what I call the GOAT test. I ask, would this impress the guy bottle feeding his goat? If the answer is yes, I deleted. Because in your marketing, impressing the image probably alienates the individual. The wealthy aren't looking for another person who worships their lifestyle. They're looking for someone who respects their humanity. That's the paradox. The moment you stop trying to impress them, you finally connect with them. Your tone changes, your posture relaxes, you stop performing and start listening. And that's when they start opening up. The same way the billionaire did to his goat, cautiously, curiously, and then completely. Most advisors, agents, and consultants assume that affluent clients want technical expertise. They don't. They expect it. That's the price of admission. What they buy is composure. The sense that you've seen this before, that you won't get flustered when the stakes are high, that you can be the calm voice in a room full of noise. That's why the most powerful thing you can ever give a wealthy client is not more information, but interpretation. They don't need someone who can quote data. They need someone who can tell them what the data means. They already have staff. What they're missing is perspective. And once you understand that, your entire approach changes. You stop showing up as the performer, the one trying to dazzle, and start showing up as the presence, the one they can relax around. That's how you win affluent clients. Not by selling what they can already buy, but by offering what money can't. And the irony is, when you stop chasing the spotlight, they start shining it on you. Look, the truth is, everyone wants to feel seen. The wealthy are just better at hiding it. They don't advertise their loneliness, their self doubt, or their fatigue from constantly being sold to, but it's there. And when you're the rare person who talks to them like they're not made of money, they remember you. Years later, they'll refer you, not because of a great return or a clever pitch, but because you were the one who made them feel normal again. That's what great marketing to the affluent world really does. It humanizes the inhuman. It reminds people who seem to have everything what they were looking for in the first place: connection. So, yes, forget the goat, but remember the man. Remember that behind every logo, estate, and asset statement is someone who still wants to enjoy a quiet Saturday. Your job isn't to impress that person, it's to recognize him. Because when you do, when you stop selling to the public image and start serving the private individual, you cross the invisible line from outsider to trusted insider. That's when the invitations start appearing. That's when clients start referring you to their inner circle. That's when your business stops feeling like a grind and starts feeling like a conversation among peers. And if you'd like to learn how to cross that line, to move from pitching the persona to advising the person, then go to getwealthyclients.com, where you'll find my best-selling book, The Affluent Marketing Blueprint. It's available for a limited time for free, along with my full suite of programs on affluent psychology, exclusivity, and influence. Because the real success isn't about marketing to the myth. It's about earning the trust of the man bottle feeding the goat. This is Mark Satterfield. Thanks for listening to this chapter of the Velvet Rope Playbook. I'll be back at you with something new, but until then, bye for now.